I lit this candle and didn't turn on the camera, so that's how this video is going. Pretty disappointed in myself that I lit the candle, didn't even hit record. Oh, I'm not having a good day. This is already my second video fail for the day. All right, let's get started. We're gonna do a casual Q&A today. I had a bunch of questions that you guys sent in, I think like 6 months ago now, and we're just getting around to it now. So yeah, let's get started. I hope you can treat this video like a podcast. I wanted today to have like cozy vibes. There's a snowstorm outside and it's cold. It's just really cold. I'm gonna break this video into 5 parts. We have balancing writing with life, freelance editing, general writing questions, AUTHORTUBE, and others. So I'll have timestamps down below. Please treat this like a podcast. We're gonna start with balancing first because I got a lot of questions about that, which is how do I balance writing with school? How do I balance writing after work? How do I balance writing with reading and freelance editing, all that? And so if you're new and you're watching this, you're like, who are you? I am a freelance editor. I also volunteer at Augur magazine, and I am trying to write. I'm trying to become a published novelist, and I had a full-time job. I ended up quitting my full-time job in October. So I feel like this question is interesting because obviously I didn't balance everything, right? I quit my job, but these questions were asked before I quit my job. But anyway, I think my answer would still be the same, and going forward there's a huge mindset that I'm going to prioritize, which is I don't know if mindset is the right word, but I'm going to prioritize my mental health. And I think the answer to all of those questions is mental health. When I'm feeling good, like mentally, I can do anything, literally, like no matter what the challenge is, I am glad to take it on, and I can do it, and I will do it. However, when my mental health starts to deteriorate and starts to be very depressive, I then get very overwhelmed and I burn out. And I feel like I should have prioritized my mental health this whole time when I was balancing all that. And going forward, I'm still looking for a full-time job. And if I do get a new job, I mean, I hope it's when I get a new role, I'm hoping that I won't have to ever deal with that kind of burnout. And so my answer, sorry, not to drag this on for too long, is to prioritize your mental health. I think when you are feeling good, anything is possible, and you feel like you're able to conquer the world. So that's my answer for you. I guess how I logistically balance is that I always schedule my days. I'm a huge planner. I didn't used to be, but if I were to do all those things, I have to plan and I have to schedule things in. So I always have like a calendar and a planner, and I write down what I want to do for the week, and I break those tasks down into daily tasks. So that's what I do. Also, sleeping well, eating well, all plays into that. So that goes back to like mental health and physical health. I think for me, when those are there, like organizing my time and scheduling my time and like working into the night and not like watching movies, it becomes very easy for me. So yeah, that's my answer. Freelance editing. How did you get into freelance editing? How do you get your first few clients? I get this question a ton. I started my freelance editing business, I think back in 2022. But I didn't prioritize it and I didn't market it until 2023 because I really wanted to quit my corporate job and do freelance editing full time, and that's when I had that mindset in 2023. So in 2021, I just pretty much started my own website. I didn't go through Fiverr, I didn't go through Upwork, I didn't do any of that. I just started my own website, and I got my first few clients for free on YouTube. I just made a video. I think it was a vlog, and I was just like, hey, if you want a free developmental edit, hit me up and I'll do it for like a review. So that was really great for me to interact with clients, interact with like people, because what you read and what you learn is different from interacting with people, of course. And then I also took a few courses. I took an EFA course on copy. No, that's not true. I took an EFA course on line editing, which I really didn't like that course. I thought it was a huge waste of money. It was like $350 and I didn't learn anything from it really. And then I took another course. I forgot. It was on copy editing. It was more so focused on like journalism and nonfiction, but grammar rules are grammar rules. And then I did Augur. So I volunteer at Augur magazine. Augur is a Canadian science fiction and fantasy literary magazine. And I think by doing that, I gained a lot of more experience on editing and working with authors, and especially when it comes to like short fiction and poetry. I would say honestly that I am still starting. I don't think that I have like succeeded as a freelance editor in any way, shape possible, because I don't get too many clients, to be honest with you. I'm being like super transparent here. It's really hard for me to get clients, and I honestly ask myself like how that's possible as well. I feel like my YouTube channel does pretty well. I feel like the thing is that like everyone knows I'm a freelance editor, like the people who watch my videos, so I'm not getting any, you know what I mean? Like I think I have more returning viewers, and if you're a returning viewer, you kind of already know I'm a freelance editor, and if you're not ready to hire an editor or you don't want to hire an editor, like you're not going to. Yeah, it's definitely really hard. I would say that if you want to be a freelance editor, like start now. Like don't wait. It takes so long to build up, and I have no idea how other successful editors, like freelance editors, do it and make a living wage out of this. I didn't make that much last year, just saying I didn't make that much. All right, we have all the writing questions, and so I will go through each and every one. How would you start at writing the sequel of a book? I don't know, I've never done it. I have an idea for a sequel for Euphoria. I mean, Euphoria was supposed to be one book, but when I wrote it, it naturally divided itself into a duology. If I were to start writing the second book like tomorrow, what I would do first is to read through Euphoria, the first book, and identify like where I left off and start a new outline, pretty much. I wasn't an outliner before, but I think as I get better with writing, I'm more of an outliner. The outlining will take some time while I plan out chapter by chapter, not scene by scene, but chapter by chapter, act by act. I think that's the best way for me to write going forward. But yeah, I'm not sure. When I write the sequel, you will know first. Can you go through your outlining process? And it's not too much trouble. Can you add visual examples? As I mentioned in the last question, I just started outlining, so I don't really have a solid process that I fall back to. What I have been doing is a chapter by chapter summary. I don't really know how to explain this without like going on Google Sheets and showing you. I might save that for a separate video. So if you're interested, anyone else, if you're interested in seeing this, please let me know in the comments below. Oh, I got this question a lot. When did you know your short story work was ready to be submitted? And what's your process for submitting short stories and poetry? It's this, I don't have a process. All my answers, I don't have a process. So when I write short fiction and poetry, it's usually not for a submission call. I usually just write the short story or the poem for myself because I thought of an idea and I want to write it, and then it's not until after the fact that I look for a publication. So for the most part, that's what I do. There are certain magazines that I have written for that specific call. I would say that's like on the rarer side, maybe like 1 out of 3. My process is that I write the first draft, I do a self-edit, and then that's the second draft. Like the self-edit is the second draft, and then I send the story to my critique partner and she gives me feedback, and then I work on the third draft, and I pretty much am done at that point, and I send it to my partner, and if he has any questions, then that's the fourth draft and I send it. So I write it first, no one reads it, I edit it. After I edit it, I send it to my critique partner. After my critique partner reads it and I make changes, I send it to my partner, my boyfriend. And once he gives the okay, then I submit it. But for the stories that have been rejected like over and over again, because I do have stories like that, I will be totally relying on Chris and Lynn to help me. Maybe like there's just something wrong with the story that I'm not identifying. And the reason why I'm confident with just using 2 people to read, like my critique partner and my boyfriend, is because my critique partner is just so smart. She's so smart, and she always knows like what I'm trying to get, and we're also good friends. Like I've known her for a long time, so she also knows me quite well. And I think just the combo of that, she's also a writer and she reads a ton, and just like the combo of all that just makes her the best critique partner ever. And she's always so kind and so constructive, and I never feel any kind of like I don't know, like hesitancy when I send her something, and I think that says a lot, because I think as writers we're always like a little bit like scared and nervous. But with her, like I trust her so much and trust her like completely and wholeheartedly. Like I'm really comfortable sharing things with her, and yeah, thanks, Claire. I always get so like shy talking about people I admire on YouTube. And then I use my partner for like a final proofread, because he's very detail oriented, so he'll notice when like grammar, and like, he's like a proofread pretty much. Like he'll notice when grammar and like spelling is wrong, or he'll notice inconsistencies as well. Like if I misspell something, like the same thing a few times at different places, he'll like notice that. And my partner, my boyfriend, he also reads a lot, and so from a reader's perspective, like I know I can trust him. Although it might have to change with like the ones that get rejected a lot. And how I know when to stop, I just like trust that process. And as long as like my critique partner's questions are answered and the story is my vision, that's when I usually stop. Even now, like some rejected pieces, like I don't know what I'm looking for. Like I don't know. I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't asked Chris and Lynn to like help me yet and to read one of these like rejected pieces, because like the story is up to my vision. Like it's my vision, and it's already my vision. Like what more? I don't know. So there's something missing. So I'm not sure. So I will report back once I have more answers. With poetry, I just use my critique partner and I just use my boyfriend actually to read over one final time. I don't use anyone else. And it's because I feel like poetry is just so subjective, I think. And I think I know like the basic like technical elements of a poem, so I'm confident in that. I mostly ask my partner, like my boyfriend, to read for flow, and mostly like I ask him a ton of questions. Like I'm not really looking for feedback on the content. It's more like, how do you feel after you read this? I think poetry is just so subjective, and so as long as the flow is there and the readability is there, I don't really look for anything else. So I hope that wasn't a too long-winded answer to that one. How would you suggest one gets better at their prose? Definitely watch Shaylin Writes. Shaylin Writes has changed the way I write. That course I took, online editing, like I mentioned, like that was a waste of time. I should have just watched Shaylin's videos. I think I became a better writer because of Shaylin. I think she's like the writing teacher I've never had, and definitely like just watch all her videos. I don't care if you think they're outdated. They're so relevant still even today, and I think without their videos I wouldn't be where I am, honestly. Getting feedback and writing a lot also helps. That's how you apply what you learn from Shaylin. So yeah, I would say watch Shaylin's videos, write, get feedback, do the whole thing again. I think that's how you'll get better. Next question is, do you have a vision on how you want your book novel to look like? For vision, if you mean like the direction, like my vision for the story, like the goal for story, yes, I always have that before I write, because I think theme really drives the stories I write. But if you mean vision like as in like a mood board, I do create mood boards, but it's not for like aesthetic reasons, it's for marketing reasons. Like if I were to market this book, what mood board would I use? So that's why I make mood boards. I want to get a sense of like what the marketing would be, or how I would market it based on aesthetics, if that makes sense. What is your favorite scene in the novel you're writing so far? Oh, that sounds so bad. I don't have a favorite scene. I'm sorry, I don't have a favorite scene. I think honestly I love all my scenes. Like I'm being really honest when I say that. Every time I read over my chapters, there are so many lines that I like, there are so many like scenes I like and things happening, so I can't really tell you. I'm sorry. I did cry writing my like darkest night of the soul moment. I don't think that's my favorite scene, but it definitely was really like gut-wrenching. It took a lot of me personally, and I think about that scene a lot from like a me perspective. Like I empathize with the character and I try to put myself in his shoes, and I like it from that perspective. But it was a sad scene. Yeah, I'm sorry, that was sad. That was a sad answer. I like all my scenes. What's your favorite part of writing? Drafting, brainstorming, or revising? Definitely brainstorming. And I thought about this question a lot. My favorite part is either the beginning or the end. I literally don't like anything else in between. And like, I actually made a tweet about this. I tweeted out, has anyone actually written a book and loved all steps of the process? Because I don't. I like the ideation, I like the brainstorming, and I like the final proofread because it's done. When did you first start writing? I think as soon as I recognized that writers existed, probably when I was like I would say 5 or 6. Is that right? I'm saying 5 or 6 because I know the first time I proclaimed I liked writing was in 2nd grade. I think you're 7 in 2nd grade, right? I remember this because I had a teacher who asked us to write a poem, and I wrote a poem, and I was proud of it. And the teacher was like, "Oh, you used the word ultimate," and that's why I remember, because she probably thought I didn't know that word as a 2nd grader. But yeah, pretty much my whole life. What's the longest book draft you've written? My longest draft I've written, I think is the book that I was calling June. The first draft finished at 96K, and I did write a 2nd draft of Euphoria, but I never counted the words for that because I wrote each chapter in its own document on Google Drive, and I never accumulated the words. So I would say, just for the purpose of this question, 96K for my first draft of this like romantasy novel. Is it a romantasy novel? I don't know. How do you remember to write for yourself? Ooh, that's a good question. I think like because I'm not published, I don't have like reader expectations, so from that perspective it's pretty easy to write for myself. But if you're asking like how do you not write for the market, yeah, that's a tough one. I think like my current book I'm editing, I feel like 50% of that is me writing to the market, or it's very commercial, but I still love it. Like at the end of the day, I really can't just write something commercial for the sake of it. I tried really hard. I was thinking of all these ideas I could write for like self-publishing, but I realized I couldn't do it. So I pretty much have to write for myself, or else I can't write the book. I don't think it's 50% like commercial or like for the market, but I would definitely say like at least a good 25% of the reason why I'm writing it and why I want to create it is for the market, because I think it's the best fit. It's like my only young adult fantasy book I think I will ever write. The themes are important to me, and it's like, why are you writing this? What are you writing? Why are you writing this? And like, why are you writing this now? Like, why are you the right person to tell the story? And so I think by reminding myself of those reasons, I'm able to write for myself. If you listen to music while writing or before, what's some of the songs you listen to for your current whip? I think this question is, do I listen to music while I write? The answer is yes, I always do. I have to. I listen to lo-fi. I have an Asian lo-fi playlist I can link below on Spotify. And I have another playlist for just regular lo-fi songs I like. I don't have a specific playlist for like a specific book, like one book for like a playlist per book. I know some authors do that. I don't do that at all. I write to whatever music I want to listen to in the moment, and right now it's lo-fi. How does one know if they are truly a writer? Like, if writing stressed you out and you struggle to finish a piece, or maybe you haven't completed work, is that just a point towards someone not needing to pursue writing? You are a writer the moment you write. You don't have to have finished a book to be a writer. You don't have to have won awards to call yourself a writer. The moment you start to writing is the moment you are a writer. I feel like the question is like twofold. Like, how do I know if I'm a writer? So I think you're a writer. It sounds like you're writing things. And the second part is, should I quit? It's like, should I quit writing? Don't quit writing. I think that writing is really hard. Struggling is part of the process. I try to follow a lot of authors on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, like social media. I subscribe to a lot of authors' newsletters, and I think one of the reasons why I like doing that is to hear them struggle. Writing is not easy. Writing is not supposed to be easy. If writing were easy, everyone would be a writer. Obviously, if you need to take a break and quit for mental health reasons, feel free to do so. But if you're quitting because it's hard, don't quit because of that. It's definitely going to be hard. And I heard that the more you write, it's not like the easier writing becomes, it's the same. So you're not alone, and I hope you keep going. Do you have any advice for writers who have a hard time connecting to the drafts during the first draft stage? For me personally, I connect with my book the most during brainstorming phase and during revisions. Oh, interesting. I think like in this case, I would just write a very, very bare bones first draft, fast draft, no, zero drafts, that's what they're called, and then you can go back to revise because it seems like you like revising. I don't know if I have any tips to connect yourself during the first draft. First draft is hard, right? You're staring at an empty screen, like empty page, and you're like, oh my god, what do I do? I also find the word connect interesting. I don't know. I just think like for me, I connect with the themes and that helps me move forward. Let me know if that was helpful. I don't know if that was a good answer. Do you have a favorite character you've written? Yes, I do. She's a secondary character in Euphoria, which is my adult sci-fi novel. And I like her so much, she's getting a second point of view in the sequel. What motivates you during the dark days? To be more specific, what helps you appreciate your own work when other people project their bitterness and try to make you feel like you're worth nothing? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. They should not be projecting their insecurities on you. You don't deserve that. And don't ask them for help. Don't be friends with them. They're not good people. I hope this is not happening to you anymore. What motivates me during the dark days? Bramble, probably my cat. I have a hard time, actually, in general, with my mental health. So I feel like I'm in dark days quite a bit. But how I bounce back is being grateful for what I have. Reminding myself that, you know, at the end of the day, I'm a really healthy person. I'm not in danger. I have a great family. I have amazing friends. I have my 2 kitties. I think mindfulness and gratitude always works, no matter just with motivating yourself for writing. I think in general, it's a good mindset to have. Do you do writing sprints at times? So for me, I use writing sprints like on and off. I was using it like a few weeks ago because I only had an hour a day and I needed to like focus on that, but typically I don't. But when I like really need to focus and I don't have a lot of time, then I use sprints. Do you struggle with telling people you want to be a writer like me? I feel like this question is a yes and no. I definitely did struggle a lot when I was young. I wasn't even that young, like 25. Before, I never told people I'm a writer. And even now, like when I meet new people, I don't say I'm a writer, but it's not because like I'm afraid to say it, or maybe I am. It's just that like it's like not relevant. I do have this YouTube channel, and so people find me in my personal life through this YouTube channel, and so I feel like that's been said for me already, so I'm kind of glad from that perspective. I don't have to tell people. They can kind of just like know from watching these videos. But it's definitely awkward to tell people you're a writer, I think. I mean, for me personally, I was always very secretive about it. I feel like it's just really personal, and that's kind of why I was thinking like maybe I need a pen name, but I don't need a pen name. Like, it's fine. I think like if the conversation comes up, I'll probably mention it. But yeah, it's definitely not something I really go to and talk about, because writing is so weird, and I really don't like talking about writing with like non-writers, because there's so many like misconceptions, and everyone thinks you're gonna be J.K. Rowling. You have no idea how many times I've gotten that. But at the same time, I don't tell people like I make YouTube videos either, so part of that just might be my personality, to be honest. TBH. What's my writing process like? I don't know. I'm currently in revisions, and I revise my book like a little bit at a time. I do like a whole act, and then I go back and do a restructure of the act, and I just like keep doing that until it's line edited pretty much. I will have a better answer for this once I have a book like ready to be queried. But for me, I write really slowly and I build things up, so it takes quite a bit of time. What's your editing process like for your own work, client work, or otherwise? I think I kind of talked about my own editing process. For client work, it's really different because I do different services. So I have like proofreading, let's go from the right order: developmental editing, line editing, copy editing, and proofreading. All of that have different processes. So for developmental editing, I have a vlog talking about this. You can watch that. Line editing and copy editing is harder to explain. For line editing, I watch out for repetitive words. I watch out for weak verbs. I watch out for readability and flow, show, don't tell. Oh, I also watch out for filter words. I have a video on that. And for copy editing, it's just grammar rules I watch out for. I talked about my proofreading in a vlog. I'll link all these videos down below. Okay, we're on to AuthorTube now. AuthorTube, what's your favorite part about being an AuthorTuber? I think I kind of alluded to this earlier in one of my questions, but watching other writers struggle. Not for any malicious reasons, but watching people struggle and seeing people be transparent on their channels makes me feel like I'm not alone. It makes me feel like this is a community that is very open. I find that when I was younger, I didn't see a ton of people like openly talk about the struggles, which made me feel like worthless and stupid and all these like negative things. And the moment I saw people struggle online, it just made me feel better. Like, it wasn't just me, like, it's the craft, it's the writing craft that's hard. So I like watching people's processes. I love watching the writing vlogs, and yeah, watching people struggle. It's just the transparency is what I really like. So that's my favorite part about being on AuthorTube, and also meeting like a lot of really good friends on this YouTube platform. That's been a really nice surprise. Who are your favorite author tubers? Oh, I have so many. All I watch are like author tubers. Definitely my friends Chris and Lynn, Chris MF and Lynn D Jung. And I watched a lot of Kate's book date. Honestly, Katie Wismer's queen. She's the reason why I started this YouTube channel and started making writing blogs. I love watching her videos. I'm like, literally, I watch one video per day, probably like one of her vlogs per day. I really love Shaylin Writes, as I mentioned, Lizelle Sambury and Anu. Yes, they make me so happy. I love watching their content. Others, that was a short section. Others, do you have plans to quit your corporate job and do writing editing full-time? No. Hi Kelly, love your videos and have been watching since the beginning. Wow, thanks. How do you stay so consistent with writing, making new videos? Yeah, this is part of that first balancing. Honestly, I find that I sometimes prioritize YouTube over writing. I don't know. What's your favorite color? I like pink. And my dream pet, I love all animals. I don't eat red meat, and so I love all the animals. I want them to be my pets, all of them. I really want a capybara right now. I watched the capybara do the Michael Jackson Thriller dance. That was so cute. I really love hippos. Baby hippos are the cutest things ever. Can't have a baby hippo though. Although I feel like when I retire, I would really like to have a farm, or like not a farm, but like a conservatory. Like, I would like to buy animals that are going to die through like a butcher, like take them in. Sanctuary. I think the only thing I don't want to pet ever is a Komodo dragon, because those things are ruthless. Like, I love all animals, but like a Komodo dragon, the way it kills its prey, I won't tell you. I wish I had a content trigger warning before I watched a video of a Komodo dragon eating its getting dinner or lunch or whatever, because they eat like once every freaking million weeks. Because that's it. That's it for this Q&A. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that all your questions have been answered. I'm gonna stop talking now. Bye.